Hey, what's going on, guys? This is just a quick video about carbs for your Grom clone. Whether it be a Hellcat, Vader, Lil Duke, whatever you got, doesn't matter. Okay, on the right there you see the stock carburetor. You can see the gigantic size differences between these two. The one on the left is a Mikuni flat slide carburetor. And basically what that means exactly is what you see here. This here is flat. So the slide that your throttle cable goes into is flat on both sides. And this is just a traditional round slide, and this is what comes on it. And you can see how pretty anemic the slide is comparatively. I know the video isn't really doing it any justice, but take my word for it, there is a massive difference between the two. Another thing too is with the Mikuni, these are pretty easy to jet. You take this screw out right here, that's access to your main jet. You have 4 screws, one in each corner of the bowl. Allows you access to your pilot. Same thing with these, but the stock ones, as you can tell, they have rivets in there because they're pretty much tamper proof, which you don't want this anyway. This is garbage, But if you're keeping a 125, you're gonna want to get this one here. This is also another Mikuni, as you can see. And this one here, actually right there, that's the fuel line. That's a 5/8 line that goes into this. And as you can see, the difference there in fuel line. So that should obviously tell you a whole lot there. And then you can kind of see the slide differences of the Mikuni where my thumb is. This is obviously the cheapie, and the Mikuni, which is right there. Okay, then you got where your throttle cable comes into the top. But this is going to be your performance upgrade carburetor here, this Mikuni. If you're going to keep a 125, you can probably get a smaller flat slide. They make a 24 millimeter. I have a 28 millimeter. I actually bought that for my 190. And the benefits to the flat slides are they're more performance oriented. You get better throttle response, amongst a few other things too. So they give you some benefits. Another carb upgrade for these 125s that a lot of guys do is the Nibby. And they're good carburetors. Nothing wrong with them. It's just that I wanted a name brand one, so if I have any issues, I know what I can get. I know exactly what jets I got to get. I know everything about these. The Nibby, you can find out what jets they take, and you can go ahead and tune them and do whatever you got to do. But aside from that, I'll stick with the Mikuni. These are name brand. No big deal there. Another thing with the flat slides too is that those are actually really well known. A lot of guys put them on Harleys, stuff like that. So Mikuni is a really good brand, to be honest, especially for carburetors. They're made in Japan. Now this one here is supposed to be a Kian carb, as you can see, PZ25, and this is supposed to be made in Japan, but mine actually didn't even work out of the box. I had to take this thing off immediately because my bike would not run with this on. Luckily I had that already waiting, because I knew I was going to upgrade it ahead of time. So that wasn't a big deal for me. But in the case of somebody else, like, it's gonna suck. Which you can see that green spacer there, right there. I bought that, well, I made that, I should say, me and my best friend, because the spacers that come with the bigger intake and the carburetor just didn't fit very good for whatever reason. So I basically pulled out my Dremel tool. I had an old lawn chair that was broken. The leg was broke. The leg actually happened to be the perfect thickness. So we cut it out with my Dremel. Went to the store, bought some gasket material, made a gasket for it, and good to go. That's just part of the fun of working on these things, But as you can see, Mikuni gives you these stickers here, not for aircraft use. That's one way to know it's a genuine Mikuni. There are Mikuni knockoffs. I can't speak if they're as good as the real deal or not, but who knows. A lot of people use the knockoffs and say they're good, but other people say that they use them and they have some issues with them. So I mean, really, it's up to you. But either way, getting rid of this is going to be your best bet. This thing is junk, holds your bike back. It's not even worth it. You know, I'd say get rid of this as soon as you can. Like, don't even bother. It's freaking junk. But you can get a smaller flat slide. Like I said, this is a 28 millimeter. They have a 24. You know, that if I was going to keep the 125 and I wanted to put a flat slide on it, I'd probably get the Mikuni 24 millimeter one. You know, because this one's too big, and there is a such thing as getting a carb too big for your bike. You know, that is the thing, whether you believe it or not. But this one here, I would say, is most likely too big for a 125. You know, now if you got a 190 or something like that, yes, this is pretty much what you want. You know, 28 millimeter, like I said, nice and easy to work on. Some people say they're hard to tune, but we'll see. You know, I'll figure all that out. Not a big deal. I mean, I can't imagine they would be very freaking hard, because, you know, you can change the main jet right there. If you have if you got to change your pilot, where you just drop the bolt down, get access to the pilot. You know, there's your air mixture screw. There's your idle. Obviously choke, as they made it dummy proof. They printed it right on there for you. You know, and this is where it connects to the intake right here. You know, and that's the other thing too, is that if you do end up getting a flat slide or even a nibby, you know, the nibbies, you have to buy the adapter to go from this style to this style, which is pretty cheap. You know, it might be maybe 10 bucks. You know, not a big deal, nor a deal breaker. But, you know, I'll let everybody know how this thing ends up working out on a 190, which I just got a update in shipping. So it was shipped yesterday. So I can't wait, man. There will be a lot more parts videos and videos to come. So I'd say if you're liking what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Stick around. Got some pretty cool stuff coming up. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody. Take care.